Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Maybe I should be saying welcome back to me. Welcome myself back to my channel. I've been out for like 3 weeks or so. I think I put out a video on Taemin around the 3-week period of my hiatus that I wasn't really planning on having because I had just got off of a week break and came back. Then I ended up having to go on another hiatus. Well, this time it was a hiatus. I'm just going to put that way because my grandmother, we were taking care of her. She had broke her hip and she was here for a minute and now she is left. This was her last day. She is gone. She's going home. So she is doing much better walking around and everything. Now I can actually focus on doing my K-tube stuff. So I apologize, but at the same time, I don't really know why I am apologizing because family comes first. You guys know. It's much quieter now. I have a little more peace, so I can finally record and not hold back at all. I believe the last video I did was on Taemin's title track of the Eternal album, which was Sexy in the Air. So now we're going to go to the third song, and I actually skipped Goat. I didn't mean to skip Goat, but I'll get back to Goat. But we're gonna do the third song, which is a B-side of the Eternal mini album called Horizon. I'm going to give you guys my initial thoughts, what I thought and what I kind of struggle with when I listen to the song. It's not a bad song, but I have a few issues with it that I'm still struggling with, but they're still my initial thoughts. I have a better outlook on the song overall now after listening to it a few more times, but just to give you guys my overall take on the song as it stands now. Like, where am I now with it? Where was I then and where am I now? So that's what I'm going to talk about now with you guys. So let's get into the topic. I'll begin with my initial thoughts, of course, when I listened to it for the first time. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I really didn't. I didn't think it matched Taemin's sound as an artist. It was such a strange departure from the sleek, sensual, seductive, and even oftentimes subtly aggressive style that we know Taemin for. It was just way out of left field for me, personally. Now, it was nice to see Taemin tackle an 80s modern pop style song, don't get me wrong, but I felt it didn't match him as an artist who already has an androgynous and bad boy style that is unique to himself in the way he approaches those styles. They're contrasts of each other. The masculine and feminine styles he portrays within his music and performances gives us a glimpse into the duality of Taemin as an artist. At the time, this to me was not like that until I saw the live performance of the song. I initially had no idea how the choreography would go, like prior to watching the live performance. What would it look like? How would it complement the song as far as the fast-paced nature of the song? But I was pleasantly surprised to find sleek and subtle movements within this song's choreography. It's not the best choreography from Taemin, in my opinion, of course, but it's not bad. There were a few things that made my mouth go sideways, not out of disgust, but more so just because I didn't think a particular dance move goes well with the song. For example, the whole Michael Jackson finger snapping part was like, I don't know how else to describe it, honestly, where he does and they do the little snap, and I was just like, I don't know, it just felt to me personally like it didn't go well with the song just in general, and I still kind of feel that way about it, but I'm not like completely just turned off by the whole song because of it, right? It's personal nitpick, honestly. It's a nitpick. It's just a nitpick, guys. I'm just nitpicking. The nature of the song, it's like an 80s futuristic pop song. It's synth pop and dance, similar to Key's Killer and Bad Love. But at the same time, it was like there was an homage to Michael Jackson, so I can't fault it too much. The snapping of the fingers and the head turn, because that was definitely a homage to Michael Jackson. So I'm not going to gripe about that too much. Again, it's a nitpick. It's just a nitpick. I didn't think it belonged in that kind of style song, but if you like it, I love it. I'll just put it that way. Also, I don't think that the choreo was as intense as the song was, which is actually good. That's a good thing, because I was worried about how he would match the choreography with the vocals. But since the choreography was not as aggressive as the song would suggest, had I not watched the live performance, I'm just glad that I did watch it. I'm glad that I found it and watched it, because intense choreography paired with an intense upbeat song would cause him to struggle vocally while dancing aggressively in a live setting. So I'm glad that it wasn't as intense as the song itself, because that would have been a nightmare, I'm sure, to try to do that to a song that fast. Now, of course, Key's Killer, there was like a few intense things in that, but I don't know. There was this aspect of it, and I can't put my finger on it, but it felt very different from Key's Killer. It just, something about it felt different. I don't know if it was Taemin's voice. I'm not sure. Maybe it was the intensity of the music. I don't know. Something about it was very different from Key's thing, which of course it's going to be. It's not the same song, obviously. But there was something about Taemin's Horizon. Maybe the music was too aggressive. Like, it was aggressive 80s music. Like, if you listen to that and then you listen to Killer, I don't know. There's like a sense of balance with Key's Killer that I didn't hear in Horizon. Horizon was just like full on hit you and you just take it. It was like a hit, like a surprise punch in the face. That's how it felt to me. Kind of goes to my next point, because speaking of the vocals, I also initially thought that Taemin's voice didn't match the song. Taemin's voice is soft, but it can become aggressive when a certain part of a song requires it. But I didn't think that his aggressive voice would be aggressive enough for a song like this. Again, the music was very intense. Specialized, and it just goes straight in. But it was intense enough. Again, I had to listen to the song a few more times to kind of get it. But I think Taemin's voice actually was aggressive where it needed to be, looking back at it. Especially when I heard the better days come, your better days, oh, your better days are better. It was very aggressive, very aggressive. The music, it kind of stops for a minute, or should I say, it breaks, and there's like a few little musical pieces you hear, but the beat is what really hits it. And it actually highlights Taemin's vocals in that moment and the intensity of his vocals. So when the music kind of breaks and you hear the beat going and you hear better days, so better days come, your better days, oh, better. You know, it really highlights his intense vocals, which I really liked. I think, honestly, I was like, I stand corrected. It was the best part of the song vocally for me, and like literally made me warm up to the song a little bit more than I initially did. I think that was the highlight. That better days, that actually hooked me a little bit. You know, there are certain parts of a song that if you're listening to the song and you're like, I don't know. And then this one part comes where the music breaks and the person's like singing, and it's like a really catchy part. It's not like complicated lyrics and all that. It's like this catchy little part, your better day, and you hear the beat just okay, this is what I needed that would actually get me a little bit more invested in liking the song, because I want to like all of Taemin's music. This album was very, very different from any album I've ever heard. Even the GOAT song, I've never heard Taemin do anything like this. The closest thing he's ever gotten to this was Rizness, and that was literally the last mini album before this one. So he's like just tapping into a version of himself we've not seen with these kinds of songs, even like the Horizon song. Funny, because I keep calling it Special Horizon by accident. It's actually just Horizon. So anyway, I guess my final thoughts would be like, overall, the style and genre of the song was something he's never tackled before. So it's understandable to me why, you know, some like myself may have taken a listen to this song and thought, yeah, this ain't it, right? But I think Taemin is trying to prove something here. Now, I know what you're thinking. You know, Taemin is the king of K-pop. He doesn't need to prove anything. But I think he's not the type to have such a high view of himself, which is a good thing, by the way. Very good thing, because he's a humble guy. So he probably wanted to prove to himself that he could pull off this genre. How I feel now about this song, I actually find the song to be a breath of fresh air. Even after everything I've said, my gripes with it, I find the song to be a breath of fresh air. And I see it as Taemin challenging himself to go beyond what we know him to be and what we expect him to do as an artist by tackling genres of music he's never done before. So kudos to Taemin for doing this. Again, initially this was a strange departure from what we knew Taemin to do, but I think this is going to pave the way for him doing this kind of genre in the future even more. Just like he did Bad Love, and then he did Killer, which was like the next level, honestly. And Bad Love was already amazing. I think that the 80s style can really, really be good for Taemin. Again, initially I thought that Taemin's vocals would not be aggressive enough, and I think that was one of my biggest problems. If I had someone ask me what was your biggest issue, it would be that I felt like his vocals just weren't strong enough for a song like this, because the music was very powerful and very loud, and he's a softer kind of singer. I love that he has vibrato because it kind of gives more weight and power to his singing, but overall he's a softer singer compared to like the other SHINee members. But what I like about Taemin's voice, and what I actually forgot, was that Taemin has this vocal ability that's very unique to him. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when he sings and he goes aggressively and he's going like loudly, his voice progresses to a loud tone. It doesn't automatically go up. I've noticed this with a few songs. Maybe I should do a video talking about that, like Taemin's vocal. Oh yes, I think that's where I'm gonna have to go, because I'm already doing it, and I really am getting a bit excited talking about it now. Actually, I think a good example would be if you listen to Taemin do Jonghyun's part on Lucifer. Na, na, da, da, his voice is like, oh, you know, it gradually gets to that intense point. What I like is that Taemin has advanced to a point where, even though the Better Days wasn't as loud or aggressive as the beat was when it was dropping, because the music broke the intense level of Taemin's voice where it was, with it highlighted that intensity, and I liked that. So Taemin has the ability to be intense. It's just sometimes it's a gradual thing when he's doing like a long note. But other than that, there were times where the music kind of overshadowed his voice just a little bit, because his voice is like on the softer side. But that does not make me hate the song. The song was actually not a bad song. It wasn't the best song. It wasn't my favorite song. Maybe that's some of you guys' favorite song. So I'm not knocking you guys' taste at all. If that's your favorite song, then good. I think that's great. For me, it wasn't my favorite. Everything he's done on this album really feels like he was challenging himself to exceed his own expectations, thereby exceeding our expectations. If he can exceed his own when he presents it to us in performance form, even in album form, but I think more so in performance form live, then we can see, whoa, he's breaking new ground here. And I think that's what he was going for. And I gotta give him kudos for actually putting in this kind of effort. So again, there were a few gripes I had with it, but this wasn't a bad song. There are some even idol groups that try to tackle 80s genre stuff that doesn't sound nearly as good as this, because their vocal capability is not up to par. It's like they're just singing their part and then waiting for their part to be over. Sometimes some K-pop groups do this, but when Taemin does it, when you hear this level of vocal capability on display with a song like this, it does put it in perspective for you that, wow, this guy is really good at singing. Because see, here I go calling it Special Horizon again. Horizon is a song that requires you to sing a little bit differently because it's an 80s style song. So there's a different way of singing these particular songs. With Killer, with Bad Love, now you've got Horizon from Taemin, and it's very different from anything that you would sing if you were singing like a more modern song. But I liked it for what it was, and I think I'm starting to like it even more as I talk about it, because these are the things that I found. And keep this in mind, this is very important. I'm not dissing the song. I'm not saying that this was a mistake. I'm not saying that this was a bad song or anything like that. So don't get it twisted. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that despite the complaints and gripes I have with the song, Taemin's vocal mastery was on display in this song. And initially, I felt like it wasn't good enough or strong enough for a song this powerful and intense. But when I listen to the song, I understand the direction he was going. And vocally, this guy has experience. And that's one thing that we have to keep in mind. Taemin has enough experience at this point. He was the first to debut as a solo artist in SHINee. So you can't look at this song and be too overly critical without like looking at the overall picture of who Taemin is and what he's becoming. I think he's trying to become a more versatile artist. And this song definitely proves it. Shoot, GOAT proves it. Because I was like, what is this? But I like GOAT. I actually like GOAT. But anyway, I think I've rambled more than I intended to. Let me know how you feel about this. This might be a relatively longer video because I haven't done this in a while and I'm very excited to talk about this stuff. And it's just, I'm very excited to be back, period. So let me know how you feel about this. Do you agree with some of my points? Do you disagree? Again, please don't come at me too hard, please. Let's be respectful to everybody. Everybody has their opinions and their takes on things. So let's respectfully talk about it in the comments. But yeah, do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel like his vocals were powerful enough for this song? Were you surprised when you first heard Horizon, like as an 80s synth song, or were you surprised that he tackled this? Personally, I think it was a long time coming, but I was very surprised still, even after thinking, oh yeah, this is a long time coming. He was going to do it anyway. But yeah, let me know how you feel about this in the comments, guys. I'm putting my feet back into the water. These past 3 weeks have been very, very taxing on my mind, and I've been trying to keep my mind focused on YouTube. But at the same time, you know, I haven't really had a lot of time, even with all the time that I spent away. I haven't had a lot of time to think about what's the next topic or what am I going to do next or whatever. So I'm just going to go at a pace. I'm going to talk about Taemin stuff. I still have the video of the vocal analysis of the other person I'm supposed to be talking about in the back burner, and I'll talk about that later. SHINee's Nuna, you showed me something that I'm probably going to look into and talk about as well, so give me some time for that as well. Roland, I remember you saying something about solo stands being very toxic. I am going to look into that. I'm actually going to make a live stream with the intention of asking you guys, like, if there's examples, because I've never even considered solo stands being a problem to that degree. So I'm going to need a little help with that one. So any advice that you guys could give me on that, I'll appreciate it. And I'll do it in the live stream coming up probably this week. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, I'm blabbering too much. I got to stop talking because I don't want to edit all this. And I'm going to have to. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. It's your boy Aves signing out. Peace. Love you guys. See you in the next one. Bye.